here in the lighting.
Yeah, we got it.
This way because the light's not in my face.
Great. First, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Jackie, and my YouTube channel is called Super Enthused. I live in Florida, and I love it.
How did you come to start a YouTube channel?
It actually started as a blog years before I started on YouTube, and I started it because I lived in Miami. I was born and raised in Miami, and I used to do a lot of like nerdy things. Like I'd go to Renaissance festivals and like fruit festivals and the theme parks, Universal and Disney and stuff. And I wanted to share that with the community, so I started writing like trip reports, like blogs, where I'd kind of like go over the trip and share my little tips and like little bits of history, and I would add photos in, and then I just kind of started to realize that was a thing on YouTube, and I decided to try making the blogs into a video format. So like vlogs, video blogs basically is like kind of what I consider I do, like a blog report kind of, but also just like documenting the authentic in the moment of what I'm doing, like a little blog. And then I started on YouTube in 2017, and I was like, oh, this is really fun, and I really liked it.
How'd you come up with your YouTube name?
It's funny because I don't remember exactly how, but I know I kind of was like, I'm an enthusiast. Like I've always been kind of like an enthusiast person, and I just kind of was writing stuff down, and I said it, and all my friends at the time were like, yep, that's you. Yep, that is perfectly you. And I also didn't want it to be anything specific to theme parks or specific to like Disney, like Castle or Ears or any. I didn't want to box myself in. I wanted to be able to do all the different things that I was enthused about. So it was like, it just fit.
Is there a particular video that you're really proud of?
Oh, that's a tough one. I really like the videos where I do different things and talk about like history and places that are kind of more off the beaten path. I know you like that stuff too. I don't know if I can think of like one that I'm proud of. Maybe I will after I walk away in a minute, but I think also the travel, I'd say. I think I'm pretty proud of the travel videos I've been doing these past couple of years. I've done a ton of road trips, gone all over, and doing other like amusement parks, theme parks, and also like roadside attractions that hardly anybody does. And I really rarely see anyone show these things, and they're great. So I want to share them. So I think I'm kind of, I guess proud, I don't know if proud's the right word, but like I'm happy with the fact that I could do those things and share them.
What do you do to prepare to do a video? Is there a lot of preparation, research?
Sometimes like I'll refresh my memory, like with Cypress Gardens. Like I know the history and I've been here a lot, but I'll look it up again just to refresh my memory, make sure I'm getting the right dates and saying the right things. It depends too, if it's something like brand new, I'll try to look up like facts and stuff about it. But if it's something I've done a lot, I'll usually, just kind of know. And so not a ton, but I'll try to look some stuff up just to make sure I'm saying the right thing and not getting things wrong, and double check myself.
What about any special preparation when you do a road trip, say when you go to the UK, for instance? Can you talk a little bit about that? Yeah,
sure. I do a lot of research for that. So obviously, I'm from here, I'm from Florida, and I love watching about the royals and like the history of like the royal lineage, and like, so I will re-watch and reread some things like that. So like, for instance, when I went to Windsor, I watched a few documentaries about Windsor Castle and about like just refreshing my memory with like Henry VIII, who's there, and like Elizabeth II, and just to get that fresh in my head, even if I don't talk about that all, because my videos aren't necessarily like history videos, but I'll interject little bits in them. But I just want it fresh in my head to appreciate it better. So I'm not just like, like, what am I looking at? Which, I mean, that's gonna happen sometimes because there's not always internet and can't always prepare, but just to try to like know what I'm looking at and appreciate it better. So yeah, I'll watch about all this stuff. So like when I went to Edinburgh, like I read up about that, and the castle, I read a bunch of articles about the castle, and yeah. Has YouTube changed at all from when you started to now? So much. How so? Much. Oh my gosh. I'm sure you've seen it too. Back when I started in 2017. I think you started around the same time, right?
No, I've been doing it for 10 years. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. But I like met you and other people around that, like in these online groups around the same time. And it felt like those were kind of the early days-ish. I mean, 10 years is longer than 6, so those were the early days. But I still feel like in 2017, there weren't so many people doing it. It was a smaller community.
And it was easy to like meet everybody, even if not in person, like online in little groups and chats and stuff like that, and support each other. And it just felt like smaller and more homey. And nowadays I feel like, you know, there are a lot of people doing it, which is great. You know, I want everybody to do their thing. It's a very different world. And also with like TikTok and all the social media, which I'm not super into that. Like I stick to my YouTube, do my thing. I feel like that's changed a lot too. And the pandemic, I think, changed things a lot.
Do you find it harder working with other YouTubers now, meeting up with them?
It's not that it's harder per se. I just think I do my own thing more. I think that when I first started, I made friends, and I'm still friends with most of those people, and we still talk. We just don't make as many videos together anymore. Even though we talk and we hang out outside of videos, it's just kind of like became more, I guess, important to me, or it just kind of also happened to like be my own person and make my own videos and like not be necessarily associated with anyone else and like go down a different path. Like some of my friends are very like Disney all the time every day, and that's awesome. Like I love Disney, but I don't want to do Disney every day. I want to do different stuff. I want to do my own thing and have my own voice. So I think I do less of the like meet up and make videos together, not because I don't love them, not because I don't want to, not because I don't support them, just because I want to do my own thing. I guess, does that make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what's your biggest piece of advice for anyone who wants to start a channel?
okay, I've thought about this a lot. Let's see if I can remember anything I've thought of though. So the number one thing I'd say is like, be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to look at these other YouTubers and like do what they're doing or say what they're saying. Like be yourself, because I think what there'll always be room for is unique voices. Like one of the things when I first started, there weren't a lot of like female theme park content creators. There weren't like a couple channel, which is awesome too. It's just there weren't a lot. It was mostly dudes back then. But now there's a lot more. So I think it's the same with all different like underrepresented groups and people, that there's so much room out there for your voices. So like be yourself, bring your authentic voice. And if you don't like doing things the way someone else does, do them the way you do, because there's people out there watching who want to see like the way they like to do things reflected. So that's the one thing, is like be yourself and bring your unique voice. And then the other thing is, I would say don't get like super obsessed with trying to keep up with other people, comparing yourself to other people, like looking at views and trying to do this and that, because I feel like that makes people really businessy and like mechanical instead of organic and natural. And I personally, the way I do it is, and I say this all the time, is like I make videos about things that I would be doing whether or not I had the camera in my hand. Like things that I genuinely love. I don't go out like, let me make content. What can I make content about? Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that either. It's just not my method. So I would like to see more people do that. Like take the camera to do the things you would do and show pieces of your life. And like, but then again, Michael, like there's always different types of channels. So my advice could be very wrong for some people, where they could try to make like lists and tips and advice, because there's room for that too, and that's a different kind of thing. So you know what? I don't know what my advice is. Just be yourself, do what you want to do, and like have fun. And then also try to get good shots, try to get nice shots, and like you're holding the camera real steady there. That's hold the camera steady, right?
What's your advice on how to handle trolls? Because I'm sure you've gotten your fair share of them.
Yeah. So I know I'm being long-winded with these, I'm sorry. It's just, you know, things to think about, but I think there's a couple different things. I think you can break it into categories. So if it's constructive criticism that is generally like something that can help you, think about it, take it with a grain of salt, think, is that something that actually is helpful, that could help me improve? Maybe it is something I can improve at. If so, implement it. If you're like, you know what, I see where they're coming from, but I don't agree, cool, I appreciate it, but no thanks. So take that like that, don't take it personal. If it's just straight up trolling, just to be mean, just to be like a mean person, I guess the way you could think about it is like everyone's entitled to their opinion, but you don't have to take their opinion. You don't have to, they're wrong usually. So you can be like, you know what, that's fine, you have your opinion, but I think you're wrong. Good day. And also, like, if someone's really, really mean, think to yourself, like, what do you think of the opinion of a person who's a mean person? Is that an opinion that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You get where I'm
Do you think you get more problems with trolls because you're a woman?
I think I did. I think I did for a period of time. I don't think so anymore. I think now there's so many people that it's spread evenly, I think. But I think there was a period of time where I did get a lot of really sexist comments, really pointed comments that were clearly like, oh, you're hanging out with so-and-so, da-da-da. But yet the male friends of so-and-so didn't get the same comments. And it's like, well, we're friends. Like, it was clearly because of being a woman. But I don't think it's so much so anymore. I think that it's getting evened out now with that. So that's, I guess, good.
Do you feel though you're getting a lot more respect than than what you got in the beginning?
I think so. Yeah. I think I have my community. I think I have my people who like get me and they know what I'm going for and they know what I'm doing, and I love them. Like that's amazing. And I think people also see and have noticed that I'm more on my own now. Like I do my own thing. Like the channel's always been me, you know, just like you. Like it's filming, editing, planning, all of it. There's no one helping me. It's just me, just like a lot of us. We're one person show. And I think after years of consistency and like doing a lot, I think that shows through. So I feel good about what I do and good about my community and the people who like get it and respect it.
And that's the Canon G7X Mark II?
Yeah,
that's the one you recommend?
I do not recommend it necessarily. I think that it's a really good, I am not a super big gear person. I do feel like I need to upgrade at some point, but I don't like carrying a big giant camera because I feel like it makes you stand out. And I'm still like I don't love to stand out, and I don't love to like people staring at me and like, oh, are you filming? And like, I don't like to make a scene, and I don't like to bother anyone. So I still like a little camera. I did buy the Mark III, but I haven't used it yet. So I might try using that soon. But like 4K takes so much space in the computer. Like I don't know how people do 4K.
That's why I don't bother.
It's huge.
The files are just too much trouble.
There's so much trouble.
And I have a fancy computer that's supposed to handle that stuff. Finally, because I know you want to get going, one YouTuber we both know, Adam the Woo. How'd you meet Adam?
How did we meet? I feel like we were following each other and we were like commenting on each other's stuff. And then we just started chatting and we're like, oh, we both like this thing and we should meet up and like go do this thing. So we met up and hung out to like go do something we both liked, I don't even remember what. And we hit it off really well. Like, you know, Adam is such a nice person. Like he is really a genuine nice person. Like we are still good friends to this day. We were texting earlier. I actually was like, I'm sorry I didn't bring you. I should have, because I know he loves Cypress Garden too. The first time I came to Legoland was with Adam.
Yeah, weren't you with
with Greg?
With Greg, yeah. I seen the picture. I think Greg posted you by the banyan tree.
Yeah, that was my first time here, and Greg's awesome too. Awesome person, and you know, Adam's one of those people I feel like that like when he's your friend, like he's a loyal friend, and I'll always be loyal to him too, like because he's just that way. Like you can count on him, you can trust him, like yeah. So we've just stayed friends through the years, and he's been really supportive too. He knew me from when I was driving up in Miami, and he was always like, keep at it, you can do it, like you're doing great. And I was like, man, thank you. That's like so nice to hear.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for doing this quick interview, and I hope in the future I get the chance to interview you again.
Thank you so much, and I know it's longer than 3 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't intend it to be this long, but
I'm sorry.
I kept thinking of some other questions.
And I get excited and passionate when I talk about this stuff, so.
All right, cool. Thank you.